How are we all doing?
Oh, hello.
How are you?
Right.
Good to hear it. Have you had a good morning?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of the game yesterday then? 2-0.
Yeah, I think there was some good play and some good football and some good goals.
Who do you think was the best player?
The best player in that game was Nolan, I would say, because he done some good play.
He's a good judge of a player, Matt.
Yes.
Yeah, he done
You actually said, I actually watched your, you were doing the teams, and you actually said 2-0, didn't you?
Yeah.
You predicted the right result?
Yeah.
Wow. What made you think that? Why did you think 2-0?
I don't know.
It just came to you.
I was feeling that there was going to be a good game, and there was a good game, and we just got it.
Where are we going to finish? Where are we going to finish this season?
Top of the league.
Top of the league?
Wow, that'd be brilliant if we finished top of the league. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when are you next announcing the lineups?
Yeah, you back on?
We don't know.
Saturday?
Yet. I hope so.
Wow.
Yeah, you're doing Saturday's team.
Do you think when we get back to Portman Road, they'll put you on the microphone?
Yeah, I hope so.
That'd be pretty good. Would you? You just told me you're never nervous. You'd be nervous if there was a big crowd, no?
No.
Wow, you're a cool customer, you. Cool.
I actually know Rob Chandler, Matt. So I think I'll actually have to send him a little tweet, say he's got some competition.
Yeah.
I've done that before.
You've already done it?
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. And how old are you?
I'm only 8.
You're only 8 and you've already done the crowds at Portman Road. Unbelievable.
He's already been mascot, Matt, as well.
Wow. What game was that? Who was that against?
It was against Doncaster Rovers.
Yeah, I actually looked up the other day because when I spoke to you on the phone call, I couldn't remember what the result was. It was a 0-0 draw.
Oh, the 0-0. I remember that game in the sun. Yeah, I remember that game. So Kai, John Nolan was your man of the match yesterday, but who is your number one player? Who's your favourite?
My favourite is Thomas Holy because when I was mascot, he was the person who I was with, and he was really kind to me.
Was he? Was he like really tall?
Yeah,
he's massive.
He's
up here.
Is he taller than the Cruncher?
I was here. He was like above I can reach.
Wow, no way. He's that tall.
Do you know how tall he is?
I had to put my head like that to see him.
He is tall.
Do you know how tall he is?
Yeah, he's 6'9".
No, I think he's 6'7".
6'7"?
Yeah, 6'7".
He's tall. He's nearly as tall as me.
He's like a giant, isn't he?
He is like a giant.
Well, no, Kai's a big fan, Matt, of James Norwood.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you like about him?
He's funny.
He's funny. Do you like the goals he scores?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you could meet him next time. Well, maybe you've met him already.
Yeah, I have.
You've met everyone.
You're friends to the stars, mate.
When I done the mascot, I saw him and I told him that it's my birthday on the same day as him. It's my birthday on the same day as him.
Wow, that's brilliant. That's really good. So do you think that maybe one day you might play for Ipswich? Do you think you could do that one day?
Yeah.
You've done everything else.
Yeah.
Wow. What would be your position? Where would you play?
I would play left wing, striker, or right wing.
Wow, that's good. You're 2-footed. I like that.
Versatile, man. You can play anywhere.
Probably getting the team now.
Kai, do you play football on the weekend? Have you got a team?
Benall Badgers. That's my team that I play.
Are they good?
Yes.
Are they good?
They are good.
Wow.
Give a shout out to your mates. Give a shout out to your mates because I know they'll be watching.
Yep. If some of the people that are watching work for Benall, I'll give you a big shout out.
Lovely. Good.
Tell you what, man. I'll tell you what, Matt. I think he could replace me on the show. I'm going to go
Yeah,
and have
he'll
a couple of
replace
drinks.
me. It could be Kai and Martin going forward.
Yeah, definitely.
It's brilliant, Kai. Look, mate, we're going to have to go, but it's been brilliant chatting to you. Make sure hope we can get you on the show again sometime, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, good luck. We'll see you soon, yeah?
See you later.
Top man. See ya.
Tell you what.
Thought we were the better team. I thought we started the game really well, and we looked really comfortable. I thought the speed of the ball was a bit slower than I liked. That was the only thing that was lacking, was the quickness of the ball. But the dominance of the game was very, very good. They tried to match us and stop our three midfielders from playing because of what happened in the first game. And I said before, they're a good side. Spent a bit of money on it, but I thought we were great. Second half we forced the issue a lot more, and I thought we were very, very good. The goals were great. Could have had the one Guion went through when he cleared it off the line, but a load of chances in the last 20 to 25 minutes.
You've muted yourself. You're muted.
Oh, yes, so I am. See, that's exactly what I was saying. I was just saying how good Kai was, and I've just proved it.
Got all nervous there.
Yeah, well, there you go. You see,
he showed us how to do it, didn't he?
Oh, didn't he just? He was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yes, so we are into today's show. Should we bring Matt back in? I was just literally, my words were, young superstar Kai, wasn't he amazing? I should get some tips from him, and I'm on mute. You can't write it better than that. You really can't. So we are live as always. Guys, sadly, StreamYards is having a meltdown. So I've got no live stats. I've got no live comments coming through from YouTube or Twitter, but I can see you all in the chat. I just can't show you on the screen. So Louis Sharp, Emerson Fairweather, Ashley Bell, Nick Muller, S, all in the chat already. Lee Brown, Craig Varela, all in the chat. So keep the comments coming regarding the weekend and yesterday's game, obviously, but sadly, none will be on the screen. I will be asking for my money back. So where do we start today, gentlemen? Where do we want to go? That was Paul Lambert on the win yesterday. Really comfortable win. Never really left second gear until the second half, as he says. Where do you want to go in terms of segments? Tell me where we want to start.
I want to talk about, Matt, how pony this league is. We have got some dreadful teams, haven't we? They were awful yesterday. Bristol Rovers spent a few quid. You don't get a lot for your money, do you?
No. Well, they weren't very good at Portman Road. They weren't particularly very good yesterday. They looked like they were just holding, as we said on the show yesterday, they looked like they were just holding out for a draw. And I think even their manager said we thought we was going to get away with a point. Yeah.
Well, you know, they came to us with a plan. You know, they had a plan and they frustrated us and made us work for it. I was really impressed with a couple of things. Do you want to start with goats this week, or do you want to start with goats last, or leave the goats to the last? Where do you want to go?
Let's get the goats out of the way.
I'll tell you what. No. I'll tell you what. I'll do crunch and tackle first, because last week I missed it and I had nothing but flack from either of you in the chat. So I'll tell you what. Just for you, Cruncher. Just for you.
Look at that beautiful picture. That's when I had no hair. Yeah, crunch and tackle this week is the resurgence of, well, I'd say Andre Dazelle, but the main one is Toto and Nsiala. So in our pre-season, one of the shows, me and Matt were doing the squad reviews. And I think we both give him the red, didn't we, Matt? We thought he'd probably never. Well, I think we both thought, look, he's never going to play for us again.
No, we didn't think he'd play again.
possibly injuries we've had, at the back. I know Wolfenden's out. But he's had a good pre-season. He looked quite good in them games against Spurs, West Ham, Cambridge. I don't think he played. We didn't see that anyway. But I know the teams we've played so far, you wouldn't say striker-wise, we've not really come up against anyone yet who's sort of, you've got to be on your game. But I still think he's had 2 really good performances. He was obviously captain in the week against Fulham. And I think, look, big up to Toto, because I see his interview on Friday. He wants to shut a few people up. Maybe that's you and me, Matt. But
I said yesterday we should be hiding behind a sofa.
I think he's done really well. And look, going forward, you'd probably at the minute you'd say he's probably nailed on to play when Wolfenden comes back in. I would have thought he would play with him, because James Wilson, I think, he's 31, 32. Toto, like Martin said before, we have spent quite a lot of money on him, so we really do need to get a return on it. And now, hopefully, this season he's going to have a good season. And
I love Nsiala. I love Nsiala, and I love his mindset first and foremost, guys, because you're going to get detractors in whatever you do, from laying bricks to doing a podcast. You two know better than that. Well, especially Matt. So you're going to get detractors. You're going to get negative comments, negative Nellies. So the way he's responded and not gone into himself, but says that, you know what, I am a good player, found his mojo, if you like, and come out fighting and saying, yeah, I'm here to shut a few people up. And I've got no doubt a few of those voices would have been internal as well. A few of those voices would have been, we're not sure if you can do it, Toto. We're not sure if you can be a first or second choice centre half. He's really given Lambert a decision.
Because I'd have thought if Bolton probably had the money, I think he probably would have gone. Do you think he would have gone?
Phil said that on the show, didn't he? If they could have afforded him, he would have gone enough. He probably would have welcomed the move. And, I think Town fans would have welcomed the move at the time. He's doing well at the moment. He's not made a mistake yet.
No.
That's the thing, innit? He hasn't put a foot wrong yet. Touch wood. Touch wood, he hasn't made a mistake yet. But let's see look, it's a long season. People do make errors. Let's see what happens when he does.
We've not played anyone yet. You'd think on Saturday against Rochdale, Matt, there's another game. You should be keeping a clean sheet there. They're not really going to... They're not going to bother us, are they? Well, they shouldn't do.
Lost 3-1 at Swindon, didn't they? Are they playing Portsmouth today? Might have played them already. I don't know if that was a lunchtime kickoff.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure what time.
Yeah.
But you think another clean sheet there. We're at home. So I'm still not quite sure about playing out from the back. They don't look really comfortable, him and Wilson. But really, for me, a centre-back's in there. He's in there to head it, to kick it, to stop people going by him. And he's just done his job so far.
Doing the job. Yeah, well, look, we said yesterday we're in this culture now of keeping the jersey. And, Toto hasn't put a foot wrong yet. So he doesn't lose the jersey, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And a few comments coming in. We've got Emerson Fairweather. Toto has all the attributes to be a very good centre-half. Concentration is key. Louis Sharp, Lambert has to be a comment because he wouldn't have loaned him out if Lambert had liked him, which is very, very fair in the internal voices, obviously. Rochdale have lost Ian Henderson. They have. Over on Facebook, we've got a lot of love for John Nolan. Don't worry, John Nolan will be mentioned coming up. But yeah, Toto really impressing. And I'm not really sure what you do with our back line now, because Chambers isn't our best right back, but he's made the position solid. Toto is playing well. Wolfenden's not even playing because he's injured. Do you bring Wolfenden back in? Do you leave him on the bench? Because if you're saying Flynn Downs can't walk back into a team, now obviously different situations, but surely Wolfenden can't just stroll back in.
No, I don't think he can. He's going to have to bide his time, We still don't know what's wrong with Wolfenden, do we? Is he like a muscle injury or something? Have you heard anything like
that? I said it's a broad, so
Groin.
It's with Harry. We never really hear the full extent of what's going on, do we? Like Vincent Young, I see they've changed his rehab program or something, but we still don't really know. It's Achilles, but how long is he out for? What's the time scale? We're a bit in the dark, aren't we? Really?
We are in a little bit in the dark on that one. I mean, some people worried that he might be on the list for being sold, but he's better. Look, he hasn't. Look, Vincent Young hasn't played really properly since November. No. It's almost a year ago, so he's not going to have any suitors at the moment. We just need to get playing for us. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, Lee Brown says, don't fix it if it ain't broken. Certainly at the moment, it's not too broke. You're winning games and you're keeping clean sheets, and that's all that really you can say, because you're winning games. Let's hear from Paul Lambert again while Cruncher moves closer to his router and sorts himself out.
It did, but the game, I was really happy how we're playing, really happy the way we're playing, the dominance of the ball, especially when teams matched us in the middle of the pitch. We found answers to solve the problems, which is really, really good. So I'm really happy, as I said before, really happy. We've had a lot of games in a short space of time, and big credit to the team.
Paul Lambert there discussing the midfield three who all played very well. Flynn Downs came on in that second half. Let's just touch on him very quickly, Matt. He did turn the game a little bit, didn't he? He opened up Nolan, but his energy, his work rate, his tenacity brought a lot.
A lot of the guys said that on the show yesterday, didn't they? That he kind of like filled that space that we'd been missing. I mean, I know Paul Lambert said at the start of the show there that he was really pleased with our dominance and everything, but the dominance never really turned into clear-cut opportunities or shots on goal, did it? Presumably he just, when he talks about dominance, holding the ball, stroking it around, he never actually turns into 2, 3, 4 shots on target, does it? I think our stats was like maybe just Freddie Sears' shot with a free kick was maybe one of the only things. But yeah,
better free kick though.
Yeah. We're not fans of him taking free kicks, are we? But it was a good effort.
You're not. You're certainly not. I mean, if he wants to do that every single week, that was a very good effort.
Yeah,
nicely, round the corner. And as Marcus Stewart, I thought Marcus Stewart was wonderful yesterday. But as he said, it bounced just before it hit the keeper. So it's a dangerous free kick in many different ways.
Yeah, exactly. I'd prefer to bring Mark Venus off the bench when in Rockets. He said back in the day, I'd like to see that. But
see, I'd like it to be like an NFL style. You can have special teams, because players like Darren Curry would never retire, would they? Because you roll it, you bring them on to take a free kick, they go off again. That'd be quality. That would absolutely brilliant.
You should email the FA and tell them that's a good idea. But it would be a good idea. But yeah, Finn came in, filled that gap, gave a little bit more freedom. Suddenly we saw Andre on the left wing putting that cross in for Ollie Hawkins. So it just showed you how important Flynn is to us. Yeah, 100%. It
absolutely is. So I've got some comments coming in. I've got Emerson Fairweather. Oh no, sorry, I've read that one, Emerson. Sorry. Ashley Bell. Chambers hasn't done anything wrong at right back. Does Kane Vincent Young walk back into the team under Paul Lambert's new regime, or does he have to earn his place back a la Downs? What do you think there, Matt?
Do you know what? I think he's going to have to earn his place. He's not playing. You can't just walk back in the team having been out for 12 months.
No,
it's not going to happen, is it? It's just not going to happen. And they'll be fearful over the fact that if they bring him back straight away, right off the bat, for 45 minutes to an hour, could injure himself again. So
yeah,
you ease him back in and chain back in for sure.
I've got Callie, never mind players, need to sign some physios and doctors. We certainly do, and that will be covered very shortly. Louis Sharp, if Evans comes out and says Downs is going nowhere this window, he'll be back in the squad next Saturday over Teddy. I do agree with that. I've got a lot of people on Facebook saying the exact same thing. I've got, where was the comment? Danny Buckley, 2 clean sheet. There's no change the back 4. They click together. I'd play Downs over Bishop. Andrew Arbon. I'm thinking about John Nolan. I'm being proved wrong. Well, you're not the only one there. Shall we have our first goal highlight and then we'll get into Media Mogul story? Is that all right?
Sure.
Good run from Nolan, wasn't it? Good work.
Yeah, brilliant work. Yeah.
He'll be starting again next
Recovery
Saturday.
run from the Bristol Rovers players was very slow.
Downs picks up the ball in midfield. Lancaster's made a run in front of him, then just held
on. A lot
to
more
the
energy about them. A lot more energy.
Town have.
Yep. Running forward. Midfielders getting past their midfield players. Running through defensive lines.
Chambers to Dizelle. Lancaster crosses left-footed. Might be an own goal. It is. Bristol Rovers have headed into their own net, and Ipswich Town take the lead with 11 minutes to go. It was Jack Lancaster.
There we go. That was a better header than the Ollie Hawkins effort, wasn't it? But yes, Media Mogul story. What we got today? Well, yesterday saw some pilots of fans going back into stadiums. So there was 1,000 at Middlesbrough, Norwich, Blackpool, Charlton, Shrewsbury, Carlisle, and Forest Green. So that was fantastic to see supporters back in. But in the Football League paper today, there was a stark warning from Accrington owner Andy Holtz, kind of a polarising Marmite kind of character. But he says, as it stands, every club in England and the EFL could go bust. It's just a question of who goes bust first and who goes bust last. That's the top and bottom of it. Because TV money in the EFL will dry up, sponsorship will dry up. Without fans, clubs won't be able to pay their bills or honour contracts. It's an absolute mess. Now, that's a club, obviously, that's punching above its weight. You would look at their kind of infrastructure and think to yourself, that's probably a non-league team or a League Two team, but they're in League One, so fair play to them. They've done really well. But that is, we've got Marcus Evans in charge at Ipswich, putting the money in. we kind of take that for granted as supporters. But it just goes to show what a fine line everyone really is treading, because behind the scenes, and we know the Premier League's back and that's a completely different ballgame, but behind the scenes, you know, people like Andy Holt are having to bridge the gap in a financial sense, and it's a worrying time for all those clubs in the EFL.
He's the owner. Why would he not?
Well, absolutely, but he's got no revenue stream, has he, at the moment? I mean, we've got you can watch the game for a tenner, but there's no, you know, you'd be paying 20, 25 quid to go into the stadium. Then you've got the costs on top where, you know, you've got people going into the shop, buying the merch, the food and drink. It's all those extra costs, isn't it? I suppose in a way there's a little bit of saving. You've got no stewardship, you've got no police to go there, and they're quite big costs. But at the same time, these are small businesses, and I think what really he was trying to do with this piece today is that the Department of Culture, Media and Sport, I think it's Oliver Dowden, had said they were looking at kind of a £200 million package that would help out EFL clubs. That hasn't happened. And in the same article in the Football League paper today, Rick Parry's talking to the Premier League about, you know, a similar package and similar numbers, around 200 million. So it could be that Andy Holt has put that out there to maybe put a little bit of pressure on people in influence.
Did you see about the EFL, Matt?
Say again, Rich?
Did you see about the EFL? So Fulham, 34 million for their parachute payment. So the EFL, I think Fulham agreed to waive that payment, right?
Did they?
To have that dispersed amongst the EFL clubs.
Wow.
And the Premier League said the Premier League said no.
No.
And this is they're not helping. They're not helping.
No. They're not.
Like you'll get look at the money Chelsea has spent. Look at the money Spurs have just outlaid on Gareth Bale. And I know Spurs, it's nothing to do with them. We'll get into my go later. It's nothing to do with Spurs, but it's all wrong, you know. These clubs at the top, they're going to struggle a little bit in the Premier League, but they're not going to struggle anywhere like these teams like Accrington Stanley. They're getting 2,500 through the gate, you know. So without any money coming in, and I know I think they're divvying up the 10 quid I follow. I think does that get sort of dispersed amongst all the teams?
Yeah, I think the home team keeps majority of the revenue, and I think you know, and the away team gets very little. I know Andy Holt has also been sort of complaining, if you like, about the I follow system and how much it is or doesn't pay out on for clubs. Crunch is having a nightmare today. He really is having a nightmare. But
Subway's just arrived.
Well, go and eat it then. Let's mismute him. No, you know, in all seriousness, guys, teams like Accrington Stanley, have they not just outgrown themselves? Like, they've got to a good level, but their fan base isn't there for that level of football. I mean, whose responsibility is it to bail out a club?
Well, as you say, it's probably the owners, really. I mean, that's the club above its weight.
With no football pyramid, you know, what are we just going to have? 2 leagues. Yeah. This is what it's so great about. It's so great about this country. You have the 92. Yeah, you know,
and below that, the non-league structure below it.
I don't buy it. I just don't buy it.
You don't want to get into a situation like you got with American sports, so you just got like 2 divisions, and that suits the armchair fans. Britain isn't like that.
But it's the way it's going. No, it is. No, forget that. It's the way it's gone. It's already happened. It's all these fans. Majority of the people watching football these days don't care about live people not going because they don't go themselves.
But I mean, we've actually, as Rich says, they're getting 2,500 to 3,000 supporters. You know, that's a regular thing. They're a community club. They're a pillar of the community. You've got to give these guys a lifeline, you know. All
right, fair enough. Right, Cruncher, what's your goat then? Because that'll lead on quite nicely. So, what's your goat this week?
Macclesfield Town. You know, I think we all see this week they're being wound up. I think they owed $500,000. Getting off that, I see Southend. I was watching the EFL show. They've got, I think, 6 weeks. They've got to find $500,000 to pay a tax bill. They're probably going to be another team if they're not lucky, because they've had financial trouble for a few seasons now. But it was on the same day as Macclesfield. And like I just touched on, it's nothing to do with Spurs, you know, to bail out Macclesfield. But when you find Macclesfield, they're owing $500,000. And then Gareth Bale, he's on $650K a week. I just think Sky Sports weren't even mentioning Macclesfield. They were just creaming their pants at Gareth Bale, you know, Gareth Bale. And I find it just does my head in. You know, it's not just about the Premier League. It isn't just about that. It's about 92 clubs. It's not just about Gareth Bale getting 650k a week. Macclesfield, look, they've got
I disagree.
not a great fan base. I think probably about 2,000. I was listening last night to 606. They had someone from Macclesfield Community Trust on. Wayne Rooney goes and watches them. Sir Alex Ferguson goes and watches them. Robbie Savage goes and watches them. You know, these people go and watch them. And now there's not going to be a football team there. They'll probably might come back in some like Bury have, but I just find it. I don't know.
Let me tell you a story there, Rich. When I was at Wembley Stadium and my local team, Chelmsford City, drew Macclesfield in the FA Cup, I went down and volunteered with Chelmsford to help with their media stuff. And let me tell you, you would have thought Liverpool Man City had come to town that day. The place was absolutely rammed. Media was sitting there. It was like all those like FA Cup dreams. People the media was sitting in the stairwells trying to file their reports. This was just against Macclesfield, League Two, coming to Chelmsford, and people wanted to see them. And you know they rightfully had their place in that 92, that structure of 92.
And then if you spin it the other way, I can't remember the owner. He's been owner he's for 17 years. They said when they got promoted, they've sort of overspent a little bit. But I think it was last season, they had to have a safety certificate. You know, all grounds have to have one. He'd had a meeting. They told him, if you don't have a safety certificate, we're going to take points off you. And he waited till the last minute. That run out, and I think they got deducted 7 points. So it's just a mess, isn't it?
The thing is,
sad.
It's one of those things, though, right? It's a lot like everything else. It's going to take people to actually care, and I don't mean just care enough to say every club matters, or you know, it's the EFL's fault or whatever, right? I'm talking about actually fans saying enough's enough. It's not just a case of Macclesfield have gone, it's Sky Sports' fault, or Macclesfield have gone, it's football's problem. How do we fix it? Well, as fans, you've got to say, look, enough, because this whole situation proves fans actually are the crux of the matter, because clubs struggle without fans. It might take missing a couple of games, but you've got to show something, because otherwise every 6 months is going to be, I'm sorry to see Southend go. What a shame. EFL have to do something. Well, what can the EFL do, really?
Well, it's just anything. It's the distribution of money in it from the top down to the bottom.
That ain't going to change unless you force it. And the problem is not enough people want to see it change, because for every fan that supports Accrington Stanley, there's 5 others that support Spurs. 5 others.
Yeah.
We'll never go and watch Spurs. This is the trouble, what you said.
Yeah.
At the minute, we're watching football with no fans. And for a lot of people, that's a norm anyway, because they don't go to the games.
Yeah.
Exactly. In their living room, paying your Sky Sports subscription, watching on the telly, get all the replays. I find it... It's just a mess.
How many times do you read tweets that say, what a great day today, you've got so-and-so playing so-and-so, so-and-so playing so-and-so, then you got the golf on, then you got the cricket on, what a great day, I won't move from my sofa. Football's getting up, putting your jersey on, going outside, smelling the fresh air, getting to the ground, smelling the grass, having a burger, a greasy burger that don't taste like anything, and actually just, that's football.
That's what the EFL tier gives you, that's what the non-league tiers give you, and that's why they're such pillars of the community, these clubs.
So what do you do? Do you separate completely and try and come to a compromise where we play on certain days and you play on certain days, and we try and keep the brand separate?
It's not going to be long. I think we could probably all agree there's going to be a Premier League too. And for Ipswich Town, we can talk about Macclesfield. This is why it's so important, coming back to us, that this season that we get out of League One, because when that Premiership 2 comes, and it is going to come, we want to be in it. We don't want to be looking through the window outside, knocking to get in. We want to be in it.
Yeah, but don't forget, Crunch. Terry says here, Terry, I'd love to go, but football became too expensive for me.
Expensive.
But clubs also don't treat you well. We know that firsthand. You've really got to love every fan that comes through the door and go above and beyond, well and truly, because it is easier to sit on your sofa, go to the fridge, get a cold beer.
What does that sign say at the back of the North Stand, Martin? Without fans, I can't remember what it says on it.
No, the Bobby Robson quote.
Yeah.
What is a club without its fans?
Yeah.
But there we go. Anyway, Matt, what's your goat?
Well, my goat this week. Question Sport. One of my favourite ever shows, even when I was a little kid. Bill Beaumont, Willie Carson. And this week we discovered that there's going to be changes. There's going to be changes there. Sue Barker is out. Tuffers has gone.
It's about time, isn't it?
Matt Dawson has gone. Now, if you're kind of like me and Rich's age, you know, you've kind of grown up with watching Dawson help in England the World Cup in the rugby. I think it was around
Emily Hughes.
2000.
Do you remember Emily Hughes?
Emily Hughes, fantastic. Yeah. And then you've got Tuffers. Obviously, was a big England cricketer. Made kind of his name away from sport in the celebrity jungle. But I think Christian sport. Yeah, I think Christian sport kind of ticks that box for people like me and Rich to sit there whilst we're having our tea and throw out some answers so the kids can go, all right, Dad knows what he's talking about. It's kind of like a dad's telling
your kids don't do that.
But let me tell you, I mean, I just think it's feels like it's changed for change's sake. I know over the years the captains have changed, but I think it's most popular at the moment. So much so they were going to do it before COVID came along. They were going to do a theatre tour where they'd actually take the show live, and I think it was sold out. Yeah. So it shows you how popular it was. And we're talking about Alex Scott coming in to be the new host. And she when I worked at Wembley Stadium, she came into our department and did a little bit of media work experience with us. Really nice girl. I think she's going to do really well. But I just feel like they've taken a real winning formula and just turned it on its head when maybe it didn't need to be changed. What do you think?
Winning
with me?
Look, I'm a big fan. I'll admit to you, I haven't watched it for a long time.
That's the problem. That's the point.
I never miss it. I've got it on Series Link.
No, I used to watch it. I used to watch it all the time. When my nan was alive, we'd watch it, and my mum and my dad. When even is it on now, Matt? I don't even know a day when it's on.
Fridays at 7:30.
But that's the issue, guys, isn't it? Isn't that the issue?
Look, Sue Barker, 24 years. 24 years she's been doing that show. So is there any real need to change? She didn't want to go. Tuffers and Dawson didn't want to go. It's interesting who are they going to get in as captains, Matt? You got any ideas?
Well, I think, if you think back to the early times of the lockdown, we had that Peter Crouch show. I just wonder whether or not Crouchy might be a good one to come in. I think maybe they might have a female captain for the first time because it's 50 years of Christian sport this year or next year maybe. So maybe someone like Sam Queck from hockey. And of course, you can have Alex hosting. So, I mean, maybe there'll be some good characters there and it will continue. I just feel like... Who?
Ian Wright.
He writes it. He could be. I think he'd be a really good captain if he was on there. But I feel like they're just trying to change up the demographic of it a little bit. And I think they're on a winning formula as it is at the moment. Anyway, that's why.
Well, okay, fair enough. I disagree because Crunch is saying don't watch it. That's the point, really, isn't it? People aren't watching it. But then again, I do think sometimes in this country we don't say this show appeals to a certain audience. Its ratings in this category are quite high. In the States, for example, they break their ratings down, TV ratings, this is, into 0 to 18, 19 to 25, 30. Do you know what I mean? So you kind of have shows that cater to certain criteria, and obviously Loose Women, for example, it doesn't cater necessarily to one half of the population, you could argue. I mean, I watch it, I'll hold my hands up. So I break that sort of rule.
Britain's Got Talent. He watches Britain's Got Talent, Matt.
I was, all right. I've been caught out. All right, I was watching Britain's Got Talent, but I disagree. I think it's a good move, and it's just the way it is, really.
Let's see what happens. Hopefully.
Yeah. So let's hear Lambert on Lancaster, and let's discuss Jack Lancaster next. He had a fantastic 25-30 minutes.
His left foot is very, very good. You obviously got to remember that. I think that was his first real league game, maybe 2 years, and so big congratulations to him. And his touch for Nolo's goal. I thought John Nolan was superb. I think he's really top of his game at the minute. And the run for Nolo, beating the guy and then coming to the goalkeeper was great. So big compliment to the team. The subs that came on were excellent as well, helped the guys, and you need that.
I think that's my go. Why can't we get an interview without a leaf blower, a lawnmower, the wind? Like, put these guys inside. Why how come the written media get the lovely interview and we have to go outside and listen to,
It's got to be a social distance thing, isn't it? They've just chosen. I mean, Sky are doing all their stuff, aren't they, on the touchline? Groundskeeper
Willie in the background doing his lawn.
Groundsman.
It is. But Lancaster yesterday talked to me because he came on and he, again, like Downs, changed the game. 2 assists, 27 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic, wasn't it? I noticed on Twitter, Stephen, his dad had put, I think it was, thank God his time has come, and the little the hands together emoji. But yeah, he did really well. Again, giving us another little dynamic. His crossing was better. That's always a big bugbear of mine, and we don't seem to clear the first man. Certainly someone of Alan Judge's experience and pedigree. very rarely does he sort of
Even-
click the first man
Even
sometimes.
the
It's really
first half,
strange.
Matt, Edwards got in some great positions, but the ball in was poor.
Ball in.
I think
The
2 or
ball
3
was poor.
times.
Yeah. So, it's
really-
like, so he was sticking in some lovely crosses, and of course the ball that he put in, and the Ema, was it, stuck it past his own keeper.
Marcus Stewart said on the radio he reckoned it was Lancaster's goal.
He was giving it to him. Yeah, I mean,
He's a striker, isn't he? He's a striker. They're going to try and nick these goals.
Well,
I tell you what, Marcus
technically-
Stewart had more of a Bristol accent than the Radio Bristol guys. I dipped into that for 5 or 10 minutes.
Would you say
Technically-
it's in between the posts?
Yeah,
technically, if it's on target, it's your goal. The goals panel will probably.
I don't think
not
you can
get-
count that from the wing, though. Sure.
Why not? Jordan Graham scored from a corner, didn't he, yesterday?
Oh, did
For
he?
Gillingham. Yeah, for Gillingham. I think he did.
Did he? So that went straight in, though, did it? If that went straight in, we're not talking an own goal there, are you? But
Well, no, but my point was you can score from anywhere on the pitch. So
Yeah.
as long as it's on target, who's to say it wasn't going to creep?
Jack, I
in?
love you, brother. I think it's an own goal, mate.
I'd give it him. He had a great cameo. Really
Brilliant.
really good to see him back on that pitch, looking really good.
Brilliant.
Need to get him playing now, really, don't we? I mean, Judge's got a hamstring, we think, a groin. What was it?
Yeah,
what was the?
hamstring.
That little twinge, weren't they, of a hamstring that he got on Wednesday? So they're
hoping he'll be back next week. In Lambert's comments, he said hopefully he'll be back next Saturday. Did we miss him? Did we miss him? I don't think we did.
maybe
No,
we did
it's-
maybe first half, but I don't think we did second half.
It's nice to have a player like that off the bench, though, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
another couple of game changers. You know, and that's full credit to Mr. Lambert yesterday. I know I've been his biggest supporter, but he changed the game for me yesterday, Lambo. You know, last year we were we were rightly critical of 89th minute substitutions, not doing enough, not being pragmatic. Yesterday he was on it. He changed that game. He saw what needed to happen. As he said in his interview yesterday, we didn't move the ball well enough, didn't move it quick enough, so he changed it. You know, but that was the difference, wasn't it? He changed it yesterday, and it worked.
There was a lot more
I think-
intensity, wasn't there?
I think one man changed it, Matt. Flynn Downs.
Yeah, 100%.
When he got on, he got on the ball. He got his foot in, you know, and he looked like he got a point to prove for me.
He has got a point to prove.
Yeah,
He's back in the good books of the fans, for one thing.
He really has. So, should we have some comments?
he
Yeah,
definitely needs
go for
to
it.
play.
Eric Clacton, a fit Lancaster is a big plus for us. Daniel Barnard, Flynn Downs won't leave now, which is great news. Emerson Fairweather, Doctor needs to go out on loan, not going to get much game time if everyone stays fit and avoids injury. On Facebook, Adam Inez, a worry. Yeah, Adam Inez. A worry for me is some of our young first team stars on last year of contract. We should sort contracts out for Dazelle and Bishop, etc. ASAP before it's too late. That's spot on, isn't it? Isn't it time we sat down with Andre and said,
those talks already be in place, I would have thought. You don't know what you know, the administration that goes on behind the scenes. We just see that in black and white on paper. Oh, his contract's up at the end of the year. But I'm sure those talks are happening all the time.
if
You'd
you're
thought-
Andre,
with Andre as well, Matt. Now he's become a father. You'd think he'll be wanting to stay in the area, get settled, you know, playing.
When young players have kids at clubs, that's music to clubs' ears, because that means they're not going to be out acting silly. They've got, as Joe said yesterday, they've got those responsibilities, and they're going to knuckle down and concentrate on their football. It's everything you want Andre to be doing. Yeah.
yeah, fair enough. Right, Lambert on Nolan. Here we go.
Absolutely brilliant. Really, really good. As I said before, he's a really good player, and I think the way he's playing at the minute is top class. Flynn coming in as well was a big plus as well, the way he played. So the substitutes all made a massive contribution, and the three guys that came off made a massive contribution as well. So I'm really
That's me eating that crow, ladies and gentlemen. That is me eating that crow. The dictionary, the Urban Dictionary, I think it is, definition of eating a crow: eat dirt or humble pie, and that's certainly me eating humble pie on Nolo. Here is the second goal.
Chambers jabs this free kick crossfield to this near side, headed away by Little, controlled by Ward. Ward gives it to Downs. Downs in field to Dazelle. Dazelle shifts it quickly to Nolan, then gets it back, bursting forward Andre. To the left is Ward. Dazelle gets the ball back. Lovely play from Dazelle. Looks up in a crossing position. Left-footed, he plays it into the centre. Lovely ball. Hawkins couldn't get enough on his header.
There's 2 or 3 minutes to go in the game, and he's game management from him and from the rest of the players. So
Here come Town.
There's
Lancaster
no
to
opportunity.
Nolan. Nolan to finish it
Chance.
inside there on his left foot. He shoots and he finds the corner of the net. And Ipswich Town are certainly now making it 6 points out of 6 from their first 2 league games.
I'm going to be real with you, okay? Because I don't know how to be anything but real with you. I love it. I absolutely love it. John Nolan is every single week so far making me eat crow, eat my words, eat humble pie. He has been absolutely fantastic. He has moved the ball with intent. He's had movement. That second goal there, for example, not only has he got on the end of a finish, but he's almost been the start of the move. He's run past players, Matt. He's run past players, Rich. He is literally making me eat my words every single week, and I love it. I love it.
This is a podcast, though, Martin. We're not going to come on here all the time and say, "Yeah, he was great. He was great. He was great." We're on here to give our opinion. It's like Matt. I think Matt, you give him a red card, didn't you? I said keep him. I said there's something there. The ginger Pirlo.
I couldn't work out where he would play, where he'd fit in, but we were a little bit critical of him yesterday, all the midfield as a whole in the first half, because we said, didn't we, Mine, that he wasn't making those breaks enough. But maybe the fact there was a little bit more freedom, a bit more flexibility in the midfield, and Flynn was there and Lancaster had come on, maybe allowed him to
one of them has to. One of them three has to get forward and support, because I think we see the first half there. Norwood, he got frustrated. He was isolated up the front on his own. One of them midfielders, they were all sort of round the centre circle. Not one of them got forward, did they? And in that second half, I know Nolan got his goal. Maybe then Bristol Rovers were probably pushing a few more forward because obviously they were chasing the game. But Nolan needs to do that. He needs to add the goals to his game. He needs to be scoring, I'd say, 8 to 10 goals.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
I think even I think when Flynn did that interview at the start of the season, he said he was always looking to score around about 8 goals himself. So maybe that's the target our midfielders should be looking at. Certainly at this level.
But let's not get it twisted, right? I'm eating my humble pie, but we did pay money for this player, and the fact we're all suddenly going, oh, there is a player. That's not right. You should have been doing it before now, but he's doing it, and that's all we can ask for. And
he's had injuries, isn't he?
Yeah, injuries.
He well in the latter end of the championship for me. He was scoring. Remember, we said that goal at West Brom, the header, and then he got injured, didn't he? And then it was a little bit downhill after that. But
Lee Brown said it best for me on Facebook. Nolan can be frustrating at times, especially last season, and he really was frustrating. Let's have a few comments. We've got, where is it? There is Johnny Duncan. Welcome in, my man. The player in midfield at biggest risk losing his place to Downs is Bishop. He really is. He played
Although he would not have said that like this time last week when we were playing Wigan.
No, he played terribly. But as Joe said yesterday, perfectly in the match day coverage, he's a young player. He's not played many games despite his age.
No, he's not. Yeah.
You know. So a few more. We've got Callie. Lambert never really had fans on his back, and we started off well last year. It's when he starts changing players and formation that lets us down. Callie again. Is Skuse injured? Yes, he is. Now that deal by the week, it's looking worse and worse, isn't it?
Well, it's interesting you say that, Mike. So I went on Suffolk yesterday, and then Graham Mack said about Skuse, will he come back in? My answer immediately was no. And I said to him, waste of time. Absolute waste of money. I might as well go and get me wallet and throw it down the road with me cards, because it's wasted time. What's the point? What is the point in being there? With the midfield we've got, he's not going to play, is he?
Well, let's look at it a bit logically, right? So you've got your three midfield from yesterday: Nolan, Andre, and Bishop. Then you've got Downs coming back in. That's 4 already. You've got Hughes, who's played bit parts, looked okay, not looked okay. That's 5. Like in the pecking order of win the shirt, keep the shirt, he's got to be 5th or 6th choice.
Maybe he'd signed on that deal now with Ipswich, thinking that Downs would be one of the assets sold during the summer.
Maybe. I mean, Louis Sharp says it best here, and he's just taking the words right out of my mouth, guys. Do we miss him, or does Cole Skuse yesterday hinder our performance away from home? Because Bristol Rovers don't pose any threat. You don't need a holding midfield player, but you would have brought him in because you're away from home, and that's what the traditional pro managers do. Yeah. They tighten it up. So would the inclusion of Skuse yesterday hindered us?
I mean, did you even give him a second thought yesterday? It wasn't like you watched the game thinking, I wish Cole Skuse was in there.
I ain't done it for 4 years, mate. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
he was Nolan before Nolan was Nolan. So
I think you have to. I put back thinking back. I think I gave him a green light back in the summer to say you need to keep him around because you need that kind of seniority for these youngsters to learn from. He could still feature at some point. We've got this injury list as long as our arm. He could still feature easily at some point.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't agree with. I mean, you know, there's going to be times Sunderland away comes to mind straight away. Peterborough away comes to mind. I'd like to sit Cole Skews of Peterborough away on Sammy's Commodics. Just sit on him. Your job, Cole, is just to follow him. Don't move. Don't look to get involved in anything else. Just literally, you are just his man. You just follow him around the pitch.
I don't think you're going to bring someone in just for games like that. When Lambert's mantra is, if you play well, you keep the shirt. So,
but we know
unless you get injuries, I think in October, if you look in October at them fixtures, we're playing Saturday, Tuesday, all the way through. So we're going to need the squad with our injury list. You'll probably hear on Friday in Lambert's presser, another two got crocked in training. You will do.
You could do. Don't forget Cole gives us a little bit of utility factor. He can play right back. He can play midfield.
Check this out. What a shock that is. Somebody agrees with that.
Right, screenshot that. Thanks, Callie.
What? That's 2020. That is peak 2020. Peak 2020. That really is peak 2020. Somebody agrees with Matt. Right, Chambers coming up.
Just happy to win the game. I think we were a little bit lacking in the first half in terms of our tempo of our play, but yeah, it's great to come away with the result. Really, I think we created a lot of chances. I think that's something we may have struggled on last year, especially later on in the season. We're playing a nice way at the minute. We're getting ourselves chances. We're getting in good positions. Guion had quite a few chances. He said, "Thank goodness we did win the game," because he was going to blame himself that he hadn't scored. But no, it's looking all right at the minute. We've had a good start, but there's a long way. It's nice. We've hardly conceded a shot, let alone any goals. So I feel solid in that respect as a team. We're dominating possession whilst creating chances. So it's the way the football club wants to work.
Groundskeeper Willie there again with a cameo. I mean, son, cut the grass when they've all gone home. Anyway, I want to say,
cut the grass after the game. Come on, straight there on them pitches. Find somewhere where they interview them without a bloody lawnmower behind them. Then
they want to get back for Britain's Got Talent, don't they?
It was rubbish last night. Anyway, my takeaway is Luke Chambers. I have been critical of Luke Chambers over the years, same as Cole Skews, and many players, including John Nolan, have made me eat my words. And Luke Chambers is one of those players. I've called for him to play right back for a couple of years now, and I think he's showing why. He's a better right back. He really is a better right back than a centre half, isn't he?
So what's he giving us at right back then that you like? It's very easy to say that, but what is he actually doing that you like?
Well, first of all, it's very easy to mitigate mistakes at right back because you've got players around you that can help you, but equally your mistakes normally happen in areas that don't normally result in a goal. Okay, and one of Luke Chambers' faults, in my opinion, is his lack of concentration. The way Nsiala. The problem with Nsiala is he goes in for a challenge a bit rash, maybe misses it, gets turned very easily. Chambers switches off up here and gets found caught under a ball. Whereas at right back, you kind of get away with that. He's okay going forward. He don't mind going forward, and he does get on the end of it. I just think you're going to have to play Luke Chambers because he's your captain and he's your leader. He's your alpha male. And we've had the Paul Lambert circus already this summer. He's been sacked today, been sacked tomorrow, been sacked last week. Chambers is a leader. You need that in the squad. So you have to kind of play him until you've got enough wins so you can say, well, slowly ease you out.
See, I keep getting tweeted. I can't remember who it is on my Twitter every game. After the game, about 2 minutes after the game yesterday, because I've criticised him before. Chambers had another good game today. And then another, I won't name him, is saying basically that I'm hoping that Chambers has a bad game so I can criticise him. No, I'm not. Yeah. I don't want none of them players.
I love the apprentice.
Don't give him the airtime, But
TV show.
I don't want players to play badly. What I will say, and I think Matt will agree with me, we've played nobody. Wigan, who are down on their arse, and Bristol Rovers, they had nothing going forward. So let's see when Chambers comes up against a winger. Same, we didn't play anyone last Sunday, just before half-time. Chambers got done. John Nolan got him out of jail. So let's not get carried away, because Kane Vincent-Young gets fit, he plays for me, because he is, along with Flynn Downs, they're our best players.
Once we've eased him back into that team, because we don't want him. We want Kane to play a huge run of games, don't we? So I think you have to ease him back in, and then Chamber will go back into the middle. I think that will happen.
Okay. Ollie Hawkins, gilt edge chance, didn't take it. What did you make of him yesterday against his level of player?
What did you say he's built like, Matt? Because I can't remember.
He's like razor thin, like a rake.
I thought he'd done well when he come on. I thought he'd done all right. He should have. Look, you got to score that chance. It's laid on a plate with him.
I do
I
worry.
played it earlier. Dezel's done all the work. Straight on his head. It's got to be a goal. Has to be a goal.
Oh, yeah. It was an absolute set. It was a great cross. Lovely pattern of play, wasn't it? We saw it in the footage just now. Dezel, brilliant. Fantastic. But the fact he missed that chance, it's easy for me to say. I'm not a footballer. In fact, I just worry that he's not going to be good enough for us. I used to think this about Kiefer Moore now. He plays for Wales.
But you can't compare the two.
I just worried I don't know, he's a freebie from Portsmouth. If he was really good, Portsmouth would have kept him, right? And they're in our division.
Well, being kept out by Ellie Harrison, of course.
But I used to say this, people used to sort of say, oh, like J. Manuel Thomas, he's going to be really good. He was at Arsenal. If he was really, really good, he'd still be at Arsenal. Yeah, that's what you have to kind of think sometimes. Why are these players available? We've got him on a free. So he's obviously just going to be a stopgap for us a little bit, I think. But he should have scored that yesterday.
Well, in my opinion, you're paid to do one thing and one thing only, and that's stick the ball in the back of the onion. So you have that chance, you take that chance. And if you don't, you're not really earning money.
Strikers are paid for. Score goals.
You could spin it around. James Norwood, he was lucky he was offside because he missed a sitter as well. So are we going to sit here if he misses a sitter and criticise him?
Well, no, because James Norwood scored 11 goals last year.
Comes with
He's not scored any this year.
He's only started one game.
yeah.
Jordan's windows are very safe at the minute.
He said that. Yeah, he said that yesterday. Yeah. Norwood actually, one of our best chances was Norwood put that ball in, didn't he, from the right wing himself. What it needed was him cloned and being on the end of it. So
I think what happened yesterday was we changed the style around the striker and then changed the striker. I would love to have seen Norwood with the support that Hawkins got, because Norwood with the support that Hawkins was getting would have been phenomenal. In the first half, poor old James Norwood. I felt so sorry for him.
That's why he got booked.
Yeah,
that's why he got booked, because he got frustrated. He was frustrated. He had no support. But when Flynn came on, when Lancaster came on, when Hawkins came on, we got further up the pitch and we got more support to the four players. It'd be good next week. Hopefully, Caden Jackson might be available for the bench because he's back in training. So that gives you another.
Am I sensing of you, Rich, that you think we could win 3, 4, 5 next week against Rochdale?
They're playing Rochdale. They're pony. They got no Ian Henderson. He's their
main
man. We should absolutely take them to the cleaners.
It should be like when we played Burton and Accrington last season. We won those games 4-1, didn't we?
Callie says 3 of Norwood's goals were against Bolton on the 12s, and Callie also asked, if Champo goes back into the middle, who partners him?
Very good point. Well, it's going to be one of Wolfenden or Toto at the moment, isn't it?
Be Toto for me.
James Wilson got a good mark in the
you can't leave.
They gave him 7. They gave him 7.
Well, no, here we go. You see, you can't leave Wolfenden out. But it's 3 days ago. You could leave Downs out.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think we all probably know that when Vincent Young's fit and James can go back in the middle, Toto will probably be injured. Wilson will be injured. Someone will be injured. So
people are going to get injured. This is Ipswich. Again, we keep saying this is Ipswich. There's going to be injuries. Ain't going to change.
Yep. Let's talk about that, shall we? What is going on at our football club? Casualty FC. So we've got more injuries than players. The reason we've got a bloated squad is because they're always pissed and injured. What's going on? What is going on? What is, and at what point as sort of, fans do we start expecting to know what's going on? Because it's crazy, isn't it?
Is it? I keep envisaging like a big queue to go into the trainer's room. Like old school 50s, 60s. Is this training too intense?
But it's innocuous, isn't it? Because Aaron Drinan went off injured against Wigan, but there was no challenge, there was no limp, there was no, I hope he's all right.
You can if he's out for 2 months, he's obviously tore something, isn't he?
Yeah.
It has to be. Yeah. If you get a normal thigh strain, what is it, Matt? A couple of weeks and you're back in?
I thought so. It's like a little muscle pull, something you'd be back in. But I mean, 2 months sounds pretty drastic.
If they say November, I'm thinking more December.
Yeah, probably. And he's got to get back up to speed. He'll have to play 23 games or whatever it is.
So as a department, are they too cautious? Are they too, this could be 3, but it's also 3 to 6, so it'll be 6.
Yeah, maybe. They want to get people's expectations up a little bit. We might not now see Drinan until the new year.
That'll be done. I don't think it was him at all. I think you have Norwood back fully fit. Jackson won't go anywhere. No, if you've got Norwood, Jackson, and Hawkins, by the time he returns, where does he really fit into that rotation?
Yeah. Well, could be other people could be injured by the time he returns and he's needed. Who knows? Who
But
knows?
it's players like
He was doing so well. I said this yesterday. He was getting into chances. He seemed to have a bit of chemistry with the wide players. He was getting himself in good positions. It seemed like a matter of time before he would score. So I feel really sorry for him. He's waited a long time for that opportunity.
it's just what worries me particularly, lads, is it's as Eric Clacton says here, it's training injuries, and it's happening to players like Kane Vincent Young, who didn't suffer from from what I know, a lot of injuries at Colchester, but he's come here and the bugs immediately hit him. So what's going? The injury bug is rampant. Someone clean it out at Portman Road, disinfect it, because it's rampant, that injury bug, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a worry. If we're going to really pressure the top two this year, like little guy said earlier, he wants to be champion.
It's not just been this season.
Everyone's got to be fit. Everyone has to be fit.
It's not just this season, Matt. This is if you look at Adam Webster, put my teeth in, Adam Webster.
Yeah.
He was another
David
player.
McGoldrick.
We can go over that. We can go over McGoldrick. He was sitting in the car for 2.5 hours ago, driving back and forth to Nottingham, wasn't he?
Yeah.
They let him get away with it. You'd say
joke with it.
move closer.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Well, that's it. Whenever it is done, let's have a quick snapshot of the league table before we leave you. Where is it? The beautiful thing that it is. There it is. Even better. Covered him up.
Yeah.
Lincoln second. Hull was third. Look, who thought they might be there after coming down?
Yeah. Where are Peterborough?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it, with Peterborough. Did you see their result yesterday? So they were 1 down until the 95th minute, equalised, and they scored the winner in the 97th minute.
The thing is, though, Peterborough and Pompey always start slowly.
Yeah, Peterborough.
I remember last year, Pompey weren't anywhere near the top 10 till about November time. Yeah. And people were saying, "Oh, what a bad year for Kenny Jackett and whatnot." And suddenly they came from nowhere. So
much better for putting a momentum run late than sort of getting out of the starting blocks early with a run and then fading like we did. Do you know what I mean? Ideally you're going to be consistent across the whole season, but to make that charge for a top 6 or top 2 might be better just to be on the charge as the season's coming to the end. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. Well, there we go. So Rochdale next Saturday.
But shout out before we go. Sore feet for the beat.
Sorry, yes.
Sore feet for the beat. The 26th Malcolm starts his walk from Brunton Park, Carlisle to Portman Road, and he'll be back there on the 10th. There are calendars available now. Kevin, beat your calendars. $4.99. $4.99. I've ordered 4 this morning. They'll be in the post. Free postage. So get over there. Great Christmas present. And another big shout out to Curtis Yates. Top man.
Shout out Curtis, yeah. Very generous, Curtis. He's going to do some prints. Very generous. Yeah.
He ain't been doing me none. There we go.
There we go. Look at that.
It's quality stuff.
Really good. Really quality. Yeah.
Inbounds.
He ain't doing me stuff. Cheeky little.
I'm sure he messaged you.
So many people message me, and I've got so little time. I'm sure he probably has. I just haven't read it. So anyway, we're done. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Cruncher, sort you in and out next week.